Good afternoon. How are all of you? This is Tuesday afternoon. We have 30 minutes time to share with you. And in this talk, I want to talk about audit. So how to prepare for audit once you know you're being audited. So there's no magic. It's not like I give you a formula and you can get to 100% score, but just to kind of walk you through how everyone else is doing, how professional would do, then that give you a little bit understanding of what if you want to just handle that yourself, right? And wanting to handle this audit yourself and wanting to know why and how and what question to ask. We talk about that today. And what you see right now, it is our website. You know, you can always come over here to ask for help really quickly. And a lot of times you can go on to onboarding with us, silent onboarding yourself. Just start sending into information and talk about yourself a little bit in the notes. And then we know you are coming and we will be working with you right away. You can also go into appointment button and really look into these appointments, see who you want to talk to. And all of us, these people you see on there, they are, they're partners. So they have experience. I know we all look young, right? We're ageless. That's one of the benefits to be a Asian. Are you kidding me? And I really do feel like, Asians or African Americans, we're just a bunch of folks that ageless. And you can't tell how old we are. We're not going to tell you, but we have a lot of experience, so you can really count on us to help you, right? So with that, and I will start with what I planned for you today. And today's topic is about how to prepare if you get audited. And normally I prepare my webinar just because I want for you to not just hear me, but also see what we have put on the screen in case you're driving, cannot look at anything, you hear us. But what if you are not driving and you need silence, but you want to go through the slides to see what we talk about? You can mute and watch us as well, right? So I got you prepared for any situation that you run into. Of course, then about our firm quickly. We are a 27 years old CPA firm. We started back in 1998. Right now, our staff, we speak collectively 10 different languages. And we have about 40 of us and serve more than 10,000 clients. So we're busy. And we have 4 branches currently, and we're opening up Houston, Texas branch as we speak. We hope that to get that operating to start in June of 2024 this year. Hopefully it would work. A lot of things is like you want it in June, but it's actually went into next year, June. No, in 2024, we will open Houston, Texas branch. We already have an address. It's 4740 Ingersoll Street in Houston, Texas. I know our main office is also on Ingersoll Avenue here in Des Moines. So it just happened to be the same address, but they're totally different place. And I myself have served on a national taxpayer advocacy panel. It is an advisory committee to IRS folks. So that is kind of my credential I like to brag about. Our firm, we're really big with appointments. Everything is about appointments. That's why on our website, you see me displaying appointments, right? And like you can see us all listed. So we're big with appointment. I wrote my first book. It's called Appointment with Ying at 8 a.m. It's literally naturally came out because when I finished the book and we are thinking about the name, the editors was like, oh, what name you want? And, appointment with Ying, because that's all I was writing about is just people who meet with me and how they started their business. Then I wrote the second book is Appointment with Ying at 10 a.m. That one is people I met, how to grow the business. Of course, right now, I am writing the 2 p.m., which is how to expand your business. I just hope that by the time I finished the 2 p.m., Community CPA's expansion has already come to a stage. Right now, we have been in the expansion mode, maybe 5-6 years already. And I would not say that I have finished that just because, you know that I'm still working for the Houston, Texas branch. So our expansion is not done yet. Maybe it will not be done so completely, but at least I want to finish the 2 p.m. book with some experiences under my belt so I can give you some good advice. So those are the books I'm writing. I hope that you can go on Amazon and get one of the copies. If you'd like me to autograph it, I will do that for you. And I promise you it's a fun read. There's a lot of people read my book and they was telling me that it was a really fun, easy read. English is my second language, folks. I don't speak English so sophisticatedly and throw out big words you don't know. I don't know these big words. I only know easy words. So we're on the same boat, okay? No responsibility disclaimer, just to say that you don't take information on internet too seriously. Of course, you go on CNN, you can take their word seriously. You go on to Fox, maybe not. And you go on to Community CPA, you can take our word seriously, but I still need you to study, okay? So make sure that you take internet objectively. Don't believe in everything on there. So sad to say that, but the reality is so. Sometimes I see some finance, accounting, tax talks on internet. It was completely wrong. It was not right. But do they do that on purpose? Maybe not. Maybe the person who speak about that just didn't know any better. So we don't blame anybody, but just make sure we take care of ourselves by taking responsibility of what you learn. So you take responsibility of what you learned today with me, okay? So that would be something that I needed to see that happen. All right. So what is an audit, right? So this is something I want you to follow me. What is the audit? Audit is a tool the government use to make sure we are all in compliance. There's nothing strange about it. It is part of life, just like you drink, you smoke, and or maybe not smoking. You drink, you eat. So audit is part of the life. So nothing to be too worried. It's not because you are being targeted. It just you are being selected for that particular work to be done. And now you know the audit, then the ultimate question is that how do I know I'm being audited? I can promise you that you will not get a call to say you are being audited. Okay, you will not get a call, and you will not be surprised by some guy standing outside of your door saying that, hey, you are being audited. No, don't do that. It is it never happened. That guy you see outside of your garden gate, and he's not an auditor. He's a con man, okay? An audit would never come in like someone targeting you. Of course, I know President Trump saying that he was targeted. He was targeted. He was audited for purposes, political attachment causing all of that happen. And you and I are ordinary citizens. You're not running for a presidential election, and me either, okay? I'm actually Chinese, Canadian, American. I don't have right to run for president. So it doesn't matter to me. It matters to explain to you that you should normally not be targeted for special scrutiny. That just shouldn't be happening. Of course, it is possible that happens because of some report, right? So if you have a disgruntled employee who just gonna tell all the government agency that you steal, you cheat, and you lie, and then you're money laundering, so you need to be investigated. Of course, the government is going to come in to look at you, but you're doing everything right. There is nothing to worry. So with that said, I want you to sit back, and when you receive the audit letter, it will come in as a letter, okay? It is always coming in on a piece of paper with a black ink on it. And if you got them, just know that, okay, and take the fear out of you and just focus on the matter itself. It is so important for me to say that because a lot of folks I know are not born here in this country, maybe had suffered with history of abuse from other government. When they receive a government letter saying that they're being audited, they feel that they're being attacked. But that feeling doesn't help you because that feeling will bring your mental state out. When you meet with the auditor can sense it. They sense you're defensive. They sense you hate them. They sense you're not friendly. There you go. You started audit with someone already on the other side against you. But majority of the auditors from the government are normal people, just like you, me, and your son, your daughter, or your nephews and niece. They're just normal humans, but they also need to be feeling safe when they come to audit you because they know they're not bringing you a gift basket. You're not going to thank them for anything. They know they come in to look for issues to correct. So that already have this kind of feelings in between. And then you came out like, you guys are targeting me. I'm going to buy a social media company and attacking you or attacking judge in the court. That takes some gut. I just want to say that as an ordinary citizen, let's just have an ordinary life. That is what I'm advocating. And I don't really know how people live in the White House. These are superhumans. They're not normal humans, right? So we don't talk about them. We're just going to talk about what we're going to do. And the one thing I want you to know is in United States of America, when you get audited by the government, you have a right to know why. You don't have to be shy. You can just ask, do you know why I get audited? So there's many reasons. They may tell you that, oh, because, something doesn't really match. We have a database, your file got rained out, so we are auditing. Or I don't know, we just giving your file to us, so we do audit. What does that tell you? That tell you is a regular routine audit. Something you did is not normal, so you get pulled out. Normal. And it's also possible that you're claiming a lot of refunds with the amendment. The government sitting there goes, do we give this person $50,000 refund on the amendment, or we should look at what he's doing? Of course, they come to audit you. Maybe, and you have a Schedule C business and you are deducting so much that you had a $200,000 W-2, then you end up with $500,000 losses and you're just like cleaned out your house. The IRS goes, oh, we want to know how you lose so much money, So those are the things you would be rained out for audit, and you can ask them. That will ease your anxiety, and you suddenly can feel that, oh, I know the government is doing their job and I am just going to be doing my job, make sure I answer that properly. And you want to know what that audit is. You also want to decide whether you want to handle it yourself or you're going to have someone to replace your face. So you don't see the government and you just want Ying to go for you. You're like, Ying, you go for me. I don't want to talk to the auditor, and then I will go for you. That is called audit representation. So you need to look for an audit representation. It doesn't need to be Ying. It doesn't need to be anybody from Community CPA. Could be the lawyer or your brother-in-law who is a lawyer can do that for you, or even your sister can do that for you. So you don't have to show your face in front of the auditor. A lot of time we know that some of our clients, they don't go to meet with the auditor because they don't speak English. They don't speak English. What do you want them to do in front of the auditor? Teach auditor how to speak Spanish? No, right? So in that case, we just go in for them and representing everything. When I say representation means that you will be giving everything to us. We are the one doing all the audit. We're the one talking to the auditor, conclude with the auditor, and then let you know how that things go. So that's kind of what we do when you, or what anybody would do when they represent you. And you then at the same time, see, I talked about you can ask for reasons why you get audited. Sometimes the letter even tell you why. And then you can also decide whether you do it yourself or you hire someone, and then start working on your paperwork. Depends on whichever year they are asking, and you just make sure that you got those years all together, right? And I said that I want you to decide whether you do it yourself or you got Ying to represent you or other people to represent you. The reason is I don't want you to change your mind in the middle of the audit. A lot of times, I'll tell you why. Sometimes we have audit come to us, it's already concluded, audit is done. And the taxpayer did that themselves. They worked with the auditor, then come back with, oh no, I ended up with $500,000 taxes to pay. I don't have it. I don't know what to do. Let's go find Ying to help me. So I can come in to help you. But at that time, the only way I can help you is to go on appeal, to go to appeal to represent the case. But in the appeal process, I cannot give appeal more information. What I can do is actually to use what you give to the auditor and to go to appeal. So that is why the initial work with the auditor is so important. Because whatever we put in there, that is what appeal gonna look and make a correction. So you really want to make sure that, giving the people who represent you a opportunity to save your case, you cannot conclude the audit. Because once you conclude the audit and we go to appeal, then we stuck with what you give. Sometimes I even have auditors saying that, well, Ying, you say this, but your client said this already. What do? When the auditor already hear you saying that, oh yeah, I don't really keep my receipt. This is estimated number. You already admitted to the auditor. Maybe that is your estimated number, ladies and gentlemen. Do you realize that as long as you are not a criminal, as long as you are a reasonable human being, when you estimate, do you realize that you are actually estimating based on your experience as well? If you're estimating your travel expenses to be 2,000, very likely, if I force you, you will find $2,000 and more travel expenses in the year you are being audited. Sometimes we force you because we ask you to go to this credit card company, get your statement out. We're going to look to see what are the traveling expenses. And we're going to have you go to that store, go get a receipt so we can prove to ourselves that this is a legitimate expense. You hear what I'm saying, right? But if you go to the auditor goes, oh yeah, I just estimated, I really don't know what I have. You, of course, telling auditor that just disregard that one. You can take that out. I shouldn't be deducting it. And I was estimating it. And see, this is what you're doing. But what we are doing is to say that, okay, John, no, you cannot say you have no receipt. You estimated that amount. We trust you have something in your end you can provide. We don't want you to be lazy. We don't want you to sit back. We want you to act on it. Go look for it. And the people do. They call credit card company. They go to the store. They get the printout of their receipt. Come on, we have done audit this way forever. But this is where I want to say that you want to decide whether you are doing it or you're going to make your representative to do it, but don't try to finish everything already, then goes, well, I don't want to pay. That's too late. All right. So that is what I'm trying to explain to you. And very quickly, there is the Bill is my client, and trust me, he is the most unfortunate person I met in the audit world because he get audited from one government, then got expanded to 3 more audits. Yes, this is a real story. So you want to handle this audit properly. So this is Bill's story is on here. I'm not going to go through the detail, but I tell you that what are the ones that he got audited. So he get audited for salaries he paid to his employee because one of the employee called the government saying that he didn't really pay salary properly. So he got audited. And from there, they expanded his audit to pandemic-related federal grants and to PPP audit. And then they expanded that to the IRS for the contractor and the employee relationship side of audit. And the guy went through a whole bunch of audit related to the restaurant. So what I am trying to say to you is the federal government are doing a much better job than 15 years ago in terms of connecting with each other. So if you get audited by DOL, Department of Labor, it is very possible you will be audited again. You will be audited following by IRS. And after you get audited by IRS, it is very likely you will be audited by your state. Sometimes vice versa. The state is auditing you, triggers IRS audit you. IRS audit you, triggers your DOL audit. So those audit, the government or state, they are interrelated. They are much more quicker in information exchange. So I just want to say that don't look at one audit as a audit. Look at one audit could be possibly several more to come. So take audit seriously. Three type of audit I just want to mention here quickly to you. You will get audit called correspondence audit, means that you get a letter. The letter says that give me this answer, show me your receipt, and send it back to me. Nobody watch over you, just a letter ask you to respond. So that's called a correspondence audit. It's the easiest audit to do, and just please still take it seriously, because if you are not, and it could be expanded to different kind of audit. The second type of audit is in-office audit, means that the letter tells you to go to local office to get audited. So you bring your document in to the auditor's office, and so it's in the local IRS building. The third one is the most aggressive one, is a field audit. Means that the auditor sending you a letter saying that I'll see you at your home office at 9 o'clock in the morning on this day. And letter arrive and you better be ready. And if you have a home office, you better to make sure that your home office doesn't look like a nursery unless you have a daycare. So it's really something that you want to be prepared to make sure that when auditor comes, they don't have any more question by looking at your space. And what is, in Bill's case, we know all of these audits that's available and the IRS or the state can do. So we actually, when we were working with the Bill's audit, we had a plan. So we followed through our work plan and made sure that he would not get any more exposure to more audit. So we were able to control that under 3, but still there's a lot more can be coming. So Bill's audit is a typical one in today's situation. And if you cannot do it on your own, okay? If you cannot do your audit on your own, or if you just feels like all the numbers you put on your tax return were estimated number, you're so overwhelmed thinking there comes doomsday, and all my numbers are estimated number, I'm going to go to jail. And if you think like that, you're not a good candidate to do it on your own, okay? And of course, we have clients has everything earmarked so well, little color tabs with all the expenses, has everything organized like a gift basket. And I just love those kind of clients. And they can handle their audit on their own. Because if you have everything so readily, why are you worried? You don't worry, right? So make sure you know what you want to do, and that's probably the biggest item for you to prepare your audit. Of course, you can interview the person who are going to do your audit. And if I remember 20 some years ago when I'm new to United States. And I remember have a issue, not with my taxes, with something else. I went to a lawyer's office, and I clearly remember the lawyer was marking that appointment with me as exploration appointment, something in that regard, and it related to my immigration stuff. So it is like consultation. I interview that lawyer. Obviously, after I interviewed the lawyer, I decided that, between me and my husband, we know more than this lawyer does, so we didn't really hire this person. But you can actually do that. You make sure you knock on the door, tell them that I want 30 minutes of your time, free consultation to see whether you are the good candidate for handling my audit. And you interview people and then you decide. And that is really important decision to make at that juncture. But of course, if you did it yourself already, if you sense the audit is not doing good, is not going the way you want it, and make sure you get help as soon as possible. Don't wait until the conclusion is here, because once the conclusion is here, we got the conclusion, but we can't feed any more new information. But of course, maybe your stuff you give to the auditor is good enough for us. We can still do, but it's not a guarantee, right? All right. And the last two slides I have here is about your right. I really want you to know, a lot of times I know for immigrants like myself, when you arrive a new country, it's almost like you have to learn the game rules, like in the game, because every country is different, right? Rules are different. So when you work with the government on your financial matters, you want to know your right. See, you have a right to be informed. Did you hear that? That means they come to audit you, nothing could be unspoken. Everything can be on the table. So just make sure that you know that is your right. So you don't tiptoe around that question, and you don't hesitate. You don't get worried. You just simply, with a big smile on your face, you say, "Auditor, could you please tell me why I get audited?" The auditor will say, "Look at you. You didn't file your sales tax, for the last 3 months, and you always file late. That's why I audit you." They will tell you. They tell you how you were selected. So that way offers you comfort. You know that you are being treated fairly. So these are the page 1 and the page 2. I do have I have a question here. Do you recommend when we get letter, we reach out to CPA right away? I would say that if you get letter, I want you to read that letter from the top left corner all the way down to the final page and the right bottom corner. This is what I tell to our staff. You know how the letters at the government, they have a limited version. Do you know that? So you can only read so many letters because the most of the letters are all coming out the same. So they have a formula to come up with a letter. If you read those letters, like people in our place, if we just continue to read letters, we don't do anything else, we just read letters, we can be expert in taxes. I am not exaggerating. The problem with our society is that nobody reads, right? Nobody reads. So if you got a letter from the government, you think it's an audit letter, I want you to read this letter from the left top corner all the way to the right, the last page, the right bottom corner. Read everything, including the signature, who signed that letter. So once you read so thoroughly, and you will question yourself whether you need help. Maybe you don't need help. Maybe the help you need is just a consultation session with someone and to explore how you should go about the audit. You can go onto our website, even get into that session, or you can just call up some law firm, CPA firm, say to them that, well, I want a free consultation, get an audit letter, and see what kind of a suggestion that you would have and whether we should do that with you to have your firm represent us. And if you are doing your taxes with the tax preparer already, and you want to know that you can actually tap into the people who did your tax return and to have them work on the audit, doesn't mean they should be working on your audit, but it just means that they're more familiar with what you are doing. So hopefully can make the situation go faster and smoother. So there is the letter always tell you when you need to be done for the immediate matter. For example, they say 9 o'clock to meet you on this day. So that's a due date, right? You want to make sure you call it before that and to arrange a time. Normally, when you call, the government is very comfortable to give you 2 weeks extension. So let's say it's due date today, and I just got the letter yesterday. I don't have time to look at anything. I would just call to get 2 weeks extension. The auditors, most of the auditors I meet, I'll tell you, this is really, really true. I'm not trying to be good to the government or bad to the government. I'm just saying, speaking the truth. Most of the government auditors are very kind to work with you. Most. Did I meet nasty ones? Oh, yes, I have. And it's not like we don't know how to be nasty. So, and you can see that on internet every day, how people be nasty. So, but you don't want that part of, life experience. You want a good life experience, and you want to make, make a reasonable relationship with your auditor. But they will never be so friendly with you. They don't charge you. Don't even dream about that. Their job is to charge you. Their job is to make sure you are doing it right. So I don't blame them charging you if you are doing it wrong, but you want to make sure that to respect the auditor and show your respect and go from there. Business is business, folks. There is no feelings involved, but we don't want to be nasty with each other, like how now it is going on the internet. So that is it's not a lifestyle I would choose. I would stay away from that and just make sure that we live healthy, right? Our mental health is even more important when we get audited, because you want to make sure you come out not injured greatly, from financial all the way to mental, not worth it, right? All right, our last slides here, I show you the partner again. And every one of us are good with audit. I'm not kidding you. We have gone through audit for 20 some years for so many clients. Oh yes, we know what we're doing. This is the Catherine at communitycpa.com. You can email to her how what kind of project, what kind of a subject you like us to talk about. And we are the only CPA firm I know. You tell me if there's another one open 6 days a week. And we did that from the beginning of our firm. So we are always 6 days a week. With 6 days, we give you one extra day to reach us without worry about, your work hours. I have Paul writing to me here saying that I absolutely love you and your firm, and I'm looking forward to ordering your book. That is so cool. Thank you, Paul, for your thumbs up, and I really appreciate people like you, knowing how much of an effort we put in trying to make this webinar meaningful to people. And I always tell folks that our webinar website, YouTube channel, and this is do-it-yourself channel. And if you really just follow everything I do on there, and you got audit, you type into audit, you search for audit, you got depreciation question, you type into depreciation, and you will get all the answers there. And our talk is really not about trying to advertise for ourselves. We don't care about advertising. We have enough clients and keep us going and rewarding us. And we welcome more, but our purpose of talking on the webinars and putting things on the YouTube channel is to get you the power to do it yourself, to get you the power to know it. Once you know it, you know how to work with the professionals. You don't want to be the kind of people that, oh yeah, I rely you 100%. Whatever you say is okay. Whatever you do is fine. What happened if that person died? And we have clients who come to us, had relied on the CPA for 30 some years. Then the CPA passed away. They're just totally lost. They don't even know what to bring to us. So those kind of situation we want to avoid. We want you to be independent in thinking, independent in your finance, independent in making your decision. And we just gonna be the highlight. We want to be the icing on your cake, but we don't want to be your cake because you need to make that. So to become a cake, then we can decorate on that so your life is better. So because we exist, Your life is better. That is our goal. All right, I'll talk to you on Saturday. What I will talk about on Saturday, I have an hour. So this Saturday, I'll talk about family LLC, family limited liability company. And there's a lot talk about it because estate planning sort of related to that, asset protection sort of related to that. And, we get questions related to that quite a bit lately. So I'm going to put together a understanding for you so you learn those buzzwords. When people talk about family LLC, you're like, I know what you're talking about, and I'm not too worried about this. And so just want to give you that knowledge, give you that power on Saturday. I'll see you on Saturday. Bye-bye.